to the Provodnikov Algieri conference call. All lines have been placed on mute to prevent any background noise. After the speaker's remarks, there will be a question-and-answer session. If you would like to ask a question during this time, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. If you would like to ask a question, press the pound key. I will now turn you over to your host, Mark Abrams.
Hey everyone, thanks for being here. The Provodnikov Algieri conference call. The Siberian Rocky Ruslan Provodnikov will defend his WBO Junior Welterweight Championship against undefeated New Yorker Chris Algieri Saturday night, June 14th at Barclays Center in Brooklyn and live on HBO Boxing After Dark. The card is being promoted by Banner Promotions, Top Rank Inc. in association with Star Boxing. The night will kick off at 10 p.m. Eastern with the WBO Junior Middleweight title clash between undefeated Dimitris Andrade and mandatory challenger Brian Rose of England. On the call, we have Ruslan Provodnikov, his manager Vadim Kornilov, promoter Art Palulo, and Hall of Fame trainer Freddie Roach. We also have Chris Algieri, his promoter Joe DeGuardia of Star Boxing, and his trainer Tim Lane. We will start with opening statements from everybody, and to kick everything off, I want to introduce the president of Banner Promotions, Mr. Artie Palulo.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. On behalf of Banner Promotions and Top Rank, and naturally Joe will say, introduce himself on his company, we'd like to thank everybody. It is, we think it's going to be a heck of a night. We think it's going to be a great show. Chris Algieri, who's with Joe DeGuardia, Star Boxing, undefeated kid. He's basically fighting in his backyard. Good kid. It's going to be a very difficult fight for Ruslan Provodnikov. And, we're very excited about being at Barclays Center. Brett Yormark and his team have been very helpful to us. HBO is going to broadcast the event. It will be live in several countries as well. So I just like to thank everybody. And I think now I'll have turn it over to Joe DeGuardia from Star Boxing, and then from there we'll go to Vadim and Ruslan, and back to Chris, and then we'll open up for questions. Joe?
Thank you, Artie. I'd like to echo your comments. I'm very excited for this fight on June 14th, and I think it's going to be a fantastic night of boxing between being in Brooklyn, being on HBO, and having such a fantastic co-feature fight, and the main event fight in Dimitris Andrade in the co-feature, and the second world championship fight, Ruslan Provodnikov, who everybody knows is one of the toughest fighters in boxing today, against undefeated Chris Algieri. Really looking forward to a great fight, and glad to be there on June 14th.
Vadim is on the phone with Freddie and Ruslan. So Vadim, why don't you say a few words, and then Freddie, and then Ruslan, and then we'll move it back to Chris.
Hello everybody, we're excited to finally have Ruslan fighting in New York, considered one of the most dense Russian populated cities, states in the United States, and we're very excited to see all the fans come out. There's a lot of people flying in from Russia, a lot of people coming from all over the United States to fight live. So we're very excited, and we hope that Chris is going to be as well prepared as Ruslan to make this fight, a great looking fight for TV and for all the fans. Now I turn it over to Ruslan Provodnikov for his comments.
Добрый день, я всех очень рад там общаться. Мне очень приятно, что я был драться в Бархатском центре. То есть это первый русский боксер, который был драться. У меня это легкая мотивация. Я благодарю всех, кто первым участие в моей команде, вам помог. Что они мне дают такую возможность. Я стараюсь порадовать.
Hello everybody, it's great to talk to you all. I'm very happy to be fighting in New York. I'm happy to be the first big Russian fighter, to fight at the Barclays Center. I'm very thankful to everybody who helped make the fight happen. Thanks to Coach, to Ari Kubo, and HBO. Thank you very much for supporting, and the rest of my team. I appreciate everybody's support. Everything's going well. I'm glad to be here with you guys. Now I think maybe Freddie.
Freddie, you'd like to say a few words?
Yeah, we've had a great training camp, great sparring partners. We know Algieri is a good young boxer, and we'll get him as ready as we can for him. And we're
Ruslan's doing very well. I'm happy where we're at right now, and we will be in New York on Saturday night, and to finish up the work, and we can't wait to get this one going.
Joey, would you like to introduce Chris, please?
Sure. At this point in time, I'll introduce both Chris Algieri, undefeated, 19-0 from New York, Long Island, New York, pride of Huntington, and his trainer as well.
Hi guys, I'd just like to say thank you, say hello everybody as well. Very excited for June 14th. Preparations are going really well out here in training camp in Las Vegas, and we are very happy with where things are going. And June 14th is gonna be a great night. It's a real honor to be fighting at the Barclays Center underneath HBO, and be fighting in my home state. Looking forward to it.
That's great. So, Mark, I guess we open it up for questions. Anybody else want to make any other statements before we move on? So why don't we open up to the reporters, Mark, at this time?
Debbie, you, I guess, tell the reporters how they can ask a question.
If anyone would like to ask a question, please hit *1 on your telephone. Keep *1, and I'll access your line. And we do have a few questions in queue. The first question comes from Sean Cruz with Boxing Insider. Your line is live.
Thank you. How are you guys? My first question is to Ruslan. Ruslan, do you feel that you have to win in fantastic fashion now so that big-name opponents will have to face you? I know that you feel you've been ducked. Do you feel that in order to get big fights now you have to win in fantastic fashion?
Я знаю, что ты многие тебя избегаешь и считаешь, что ты должен выиграть очень фантастическим способом этот бой для того, чтобы получить следующий. Я думаю, что независимо, каждый выиграл. Конечно, для меня очень важно выиграть этот бой. Я же все-таки чемпион, я должен быть чемпион. Но если будет возможность выиграть малой крови, я буду выиграть малой крови, то есть не буду вести оба. Так что независимо, то есть от этого я обязательно получу что-то в любом случае. Definitely it's a big responsibility for me. Most importantly because now I'm a world champion and I'm defending my title, and I have to fight like a champion, and I'm a champion once again. But no matter what, I don't want to risk it too much, and I want to make sure I preserve my health no matter what. And I think that a big fight will come anyway. But I will try to finish the fight in a great fashion, obviously, as I always do.
Great. Another question. How do you feel with the frustration of not getting a big-name opponent for your next fight? Chris is a very good fighter, but he doesn't have the name value right now, at least, of a Marquez or a Tim Bradley.
Neither did Ruslan before he fought Tim Bradley, so you can't look past anybody. That's just my 2 cents on Palulo. They thought it was going to be a workout against Bradley, and believe me, Chris Algieri is a very difficult fight. So again, I'm sorry for interrupting.
No problem.
Я не получил большое имя. Алжир, кстати, настолько известен, как Маркез или Брэдли. Нет, я не переживаю, то есть я всегда лояльный, значит, так должно было быть, значит, что перейти как-то. Надо быть каких-то спокойно как-то. Раз так случилось, значит, должно было быть, значит, теперь не пришло время. No, it does not bother me. I'm very loyal to my faith in life, and just a great opponent, a great fighter, and this is what happened, and this is the way it should have been. I know my time will come.
That's great. Freddie, just wanted to ask you, kind of piggybacking on what was being said, are you taking any extra measures to reassure that Ruslan doesn't underestimate Chris? Or is it pretty safe going that he's taking the fight seriously? Or seriously as you'd want him to, I should say?
We always take fights seriously, and we get ready for every fight 100%. So, I mean, at the level we're at right now, the world title level, you can't take anyone for granted, and we're in great shape for this fight.
One more question, and that's for Chris. Chris, about your underdog status right now, do you understand that it's simply because you haven't had a chance in the spotlight yet? I mean, granted, you've definitely been in Friday Night Fights, as have a lot of great fighters. you're not getting the attention Ruslan has. Are you offended by that, or do you just see it as, oh, well, that's going to be the case because I haven't really established my name, and I won't be able to until I beat someone like Ruslan?
No, I don't take any offense to it. It's just it's the nature of the game and the situation. I haven't had those big name fights yet. I've only been on TV a couple times. But I've been working very hard, throughout my entire career and getting me ready for this opportunity. And on June 14th, everybody's going to see who I am and see what I bring to the table, and that's when everyone can really see what Chris Algieri is all about.
Good. One more question, and I'm going to leave you all alone. For Chris. Chris, obviously your background is in kickboxing. At this point, do you see it as beneficial to your boxing career having that background, or detrimental?
I definitely do see it, as a benefit. I've been in big fights, and I've fought fighters from all over the world before. I've been in very tough fights, physically demanding fights, long fights. So I think that really has carried over in my boxing career and has brought me to where I am today.
Thank you very much, guys.
Our next question comes from Chris Gunzz with the Chris Gunzz Boxing Show. Your line is live.
Thank you. My first question is for Chris Algieri. Chris, you went 20-0.
Mr. Gunzz, your line is live.
Yeah, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I guess Chris Gunzz out there.
Our next question comes from Mike Woods with Sweet Science. Your line is live.
Hi guys, thanks for taking the time. Question is for Ruslan. Ruslan, the nickname Siberian Rocky. I'm wondering who gave it to you, and if you are aware, if you have watched the Rocky movies, and what the nickname means to you if you have indeed seen those Rocky movies.
The line is breaking up a little bit. Can you repeat the question?
Repeat the question, buddy.
The question is the nickname Siberian Rocky. Have you watched the Rocky movie? What does the name mean to you?
Okay, I got it. Мое имя из Белоруссии, имеет статус Белоруссии. Что это значит для тебя? У меня русский это просто нарицательное слово, которое обозначает буду стараться для полностью умножать. The nickname in rock it has a lot about give up.
All right, thanks, guys.
Our next question comes from David Grisman with BoxingSeed.com. Your line is live.
Yeah, question for Freddie. Freddie, how much time have you had with Ruslan in contrast with the last camp ahead of the Alvarado fight?
We've been together quite well now, and we've had a full camp together. And last time I was busy with Cotto, so I missed the last last week of the camp. But this time I'll be there the entire time. Him and Miguel Cotto will both be traveling together to New York, so we're gonna all work together in New York. And we've had a full camp this time.
Have the camp with Manny Pacquiao last time also gotten in the way of working with Ruslan, or was it really the Cotto camp the week ahead of time?
It was actually the Cotto camp because the fight was in Florida. So I did take Ruslan to Florida with us to be with us for that week. And then he and Marvin traveled, and Gavin traveled to just finish the last fight.
From your perspective as a trainer, what is the difference for Ruslan in terms of what he gets out of that additional time with you?
Well, we work very well together, but Marvin is a great assistant also. So Marvin's one of those assistants that doesn't change. He knows my style, he knows what I want, and he follows instructions very well. And he did a great job in that. But so I don't think we lose anything with Marvin and Ruslan being together.
Tell me about, you said he does a great job on fight night and in training camp last time ahead of the Alvarado fight. What was it that Marvin really brought in terms of continuing your game plan and helping Ruslan get that success that he did?
Well, he knows the rules and so forth. We had a little hand-wrap problem with the other camp, and we won that argument. And then an issue that was very strong, I feel, and then his professionalism in the corner. He doesn't get excited. He stays calm. He talks to his fighter. He doesn't scream at them. He doesn't yell at people.
with you for this upcoming fight with Chris Algieri?
He'll be right beside me, and we'll talk about the strategy. Well, we have a strategy of the fight, but we'll talk about what adjustments we need to make during the rounds, and be the lead guy in this fight for Ruslan.
All right, thank you very much, Freddie. A question for Artie. I know that the fighters themselves don't like to look beyond the current opponent, but what are you looking at for Ruslan should he triumph on the 14th?
Well, the most important thing that you just said is June the 14th. So right now, there's a lot of fights out there for both Chris Algieri and Ruslan Provodnikov, whoever is the winner. I really would just like to stay focused on this event. I actually don't believe in getting into details about what's on the horizon, because that means you're assuming you're going to win. And I just think that right now, the Algieri fight, when it was first made, a lot of people didn't believe that it was going to be a difficult fight. And I knew it all along that it's going to be a difficult fight. I know he's a tough guy. I know he's coming to win. So for me to start talking about future events, I think that's premature. Right now, it's Chris Algieri, and he has to get through fighting an undefeated kid who's never lost before, which is a very difficult fight.
Okay,
so
well,
that's my best answer I can give you about a future event.
Sure. So obviously, the fights that Ruslan had last year, both the close loss with Bradley and the win over Alvarado, were big for his career. It brought him to this position where he's in now, where he gets to be the A side. But should he triumph over Algieri on the 14th, what do you believe that would do for his career?
Well, I think that both of these kids have to win. I mean, their careers predicated on winning. It's not like Donovan McNabb. He's playing for the Eagles, he's getting $10 million a year, whether they have a good year or a bad year. The winner of this fight will move on to a big fight. So on June the 14th at about 1 a.m., come over to ringside and ask me the question then about who the next fight is, and I'll let you know.
Okay. I have a question for Chris Algieri, and then I'll head on to everybody else. Chris, you've seen Ruslan fight, on TV. What do you think that Ruslan does well, and what do you think are some of the weaknesses that you've seen in his game?
Why would he tell you the weaknesses?
Ruslan is a great fighter, a great champion. It's a real honor to be in there with him. I have seen him fight before. I'm actually a fan of watching Ruslan's fights. He's a pressure fighter. He comes forward. He's super tough, very durable. He's a good, strong puncher, and he maintains his pressure throughout the bout. He moves his head when he needs to, and crosses the line and closes the distance very well. Those are the things that my team, Tim Lane and Keith Trimble, have been studying and working on. But just based on past fights, there is a weakness with dealing with a jab and a boxer and movement. So really, those are the things that we've been trying to work most on. But at the end of the day, it's a fight. Ruslan is going to press the action. I'm going to have to stand and fight at times, so we'll be ready for that as well.
Are there any opponents that you face that you feel are similar to what Ruslan will be bringing to the table?
I think I fought a couple guys who were pressure fighters and big punchers. My last opponent, Manuel Taylor, was a very, very well-known knockout puncher. He had one-punch power. He also threw a lot of very, very tight, short punches. I fought a fighter, a Puerto Rican fighter, Jose Peralta, who is a shorter, stockier, pressure aggressive guy as well. So I feel like I've dealt with similar, but not quite like Ruslan, type fighters in the past.
Okay, thank you guys very much.
Our next question comes from Ignacio Zuga with True Boxing Heads. Your line is live.
My first question is for Ruslan Provodnikov. How does he feel about the Russian invasion right now? A lot of Russian in boxing. How does he stay focused, seeing that he hasn't fought in a while?
Тут думаю, что там, что сейчас русские находят очень сильно бокс. И как-то хорошо, плохо,
training has been that long. I feel great. I've been sparring and flying great. I'm not worried about it at all. As far as the Russians are getting better and achieving a lot of boxing, that's definitely an honor, and it's great that our boxers are finally getting some respect.
You deserve it, Provodnikov. I know fight fans will be watching. Chris, a question for you. How does kickboxing training translate into boxing, and how do you feel you're going to capitalize on such a big fight?
Well, in terms of the question about kickboxing and the a lot of the techniques are very similar to punch techniques. The fact that I've been fighting without a headgear for such a long time, I think, has really helped with my defense in my pro boxing career. But in terms of how the sport is fought, it's a totally different pace. Boxing is a lot faster. Conditioning is a lot more intensive. Fights are longer. But I think I've made those changes over the past 19 fights, and conditioning is never really been a problem. But in preparations for this fight, my last couple camps have been going really well, and we didn't really see that we needed to change too much. My team, my strength coach, Dr. Mike Camp, has put in a tremendous amount of work to develop a great program for this fight for my strength and conditioning. And my trainers, Tele and Trimble, have a great game plan that we've been working on, and we've been executing. So we're ready for this big fight.
Sounds great. We'll see you fight week.
Our next question comes from Steve Harp with Las Vegas Review. Your line is live.
Hello, everybody. Chris, what gym in Vegas have you been training after this fight?
I've been training at my coach's gym, Extreme Couture MMA. It's actually an MMA gym.
Oh, Extreme Couture, okay.
Yes, my trainer Tim Lane trains out of that gym, so we've been stationed over there.
Yeah, I want to ask you also about the philosophy behind training in Vegas and being so far away from Long Island, and how it benefits you in terms of minimizing distractions. You've been doing this since, 2010, I think?
Yeah, I've been moving around quite a bit for training camps. Long Island is not really a great place to be a professional athlete. Things are very far away. Things are expensive. There's not many other top-level pros in the area. You generally have to go west and go into Brooklyn, into Manhattan, which is quite a trek from Long Island. So it doesn't really make sense for me to stay out there. It just makes things a lot more difficult. I have a trainer at home, Pete Trimble, who I work with while I'm in New York, and then I have my trainer here in Tim Lane, here in Vegas, who's Tim Lane, so we'll come out here and train here. And there's just great fighters all over the place. There's great gyms that are in a very close proximity, and there's top level guys here at all times.
In terms of prepping for this fight, was your sparring specifically designed to find pressure fighters who are like Ruslan, because you've been talking about his ability to pressure? Was that the focus of your sparring, or did you change it out?
Absolutely. My coaches set up this camp perfectly, and they were out here in Vegas scouting out perfect sparring partners for this camp while I was in New York training and getting in condition. I had some good sparring while I was in New York, and then I came out here and have had great sparring thus far.
Great. Hey, Freddie Roach. Freddie?
Yep.
Hi, Fred. What impresses you about Algieri when you watch him on tape?
He's a good boxer. He moves well. He has a good jab. He's a solid boxer, and nobody's perfect, and we have a very good game plan.
Do you think he'll wilt under Ruslan's pressure as the fight goes on? Is he vulnerable to body shots, in your opinion?
I think everybody in the world is if you work on it hard enough. We'll see.
Okay. Very good. I'll see you in New York next week, Brad. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next question comes from Lem Satterfield with GreenTV.com. Your line is live.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Hey, Lem.
Hey. My first question is for Vadim and also for Artie. Vadim, you had given me perspective on Ruslan's popularity in Russia compared to some of the other fighters, Golovkin particular, can you address his popularity? And from what I understand, he's the most popular of fighters from Russia.
Go ahead, Vadim, you take it.
Well, in Russia, I think right now it's between Kovalev and Ruslan, but there's been a lot of different polls and ratings and stuff like that that have shown Ruslan coming ahead. I think they're about at the same level. So Ruslan has a bigger fight and fought some bigger opponents, but I think because of that, they can off a little bit.
What do you think is his appeal? He really seems to come off, especially, the night that he won the fight. You watched the 2 days with before the Alvarado fight, and he brought his mother, and he was really emotional. He mentioned fighting for the people.
He's very grounded, and I think people can really relate to that.
Can you elaborate on that?
Well, the type of person that he is, and the way he is with people and the fans, and the way he fights, I think people can really relate to that, and see how he is first just by looking at the way he is in the ring. I think that basically shows the people's love for him.
Artie?
Yeah, go ahead.
Same question.
Repeat the question, Lem, 100% for this older guy.
Okay. I was just commenting on his popularity in relation to the other fighters, the other Slavic fighters, Golovkin, Kovalev. He seems to really have hit a nerve, like Vadim said, with with those who are grounded. He really comes across as kind of a people's guy. Can you talk about what you think his appeal is?
I think he has the right nickname, the Siberian Rocky, because everybody can relate to the underdog, and everybody can relate to a guy fighting his way out of whether it's poverty or a low-income environment to reach a better level financially in their life. I mean, when he fought Bradley, he was considered just the opponent, and it was a payday. And what he did was he rose to the occasion. People like that. People can identify with somebody who's a working class person. There was a lot of great fighters in history that were considered working class guys that everybody wanted to be a part of, and they attracted fans because they were the people's guy, and he's the people's champion. He's a tough guy, and he's straight. He tells you the way it is. After he reviewed the tape, he said, "Listen, I could see how people thought Bradley won the fight. People like that. It's like if he lost the fight, he lost the fight. If he won the fight, he won the fight. That's what people want to hear. People like straight stuff, straight talking." And I think that he's, the Russian people, they're right up there. They want the truth. They don't want a lot of good baloney. And I think they appreciate that he's a straightforward guy. And he has a lot of Mexican fans and American fans because on top of all of that, he's the most TV and fan-friendly fighter right now in America. That's my opinion.
Vadim, can you ask him what he feels? Can you ask him to explain where he's from, what he overcame, and also what he feels personally tries to bring across in appealing to his audience?
Как ты пришел к тому, к чему ты пришел, и чем ты думаешь, ты настолько интересен по твоим болельщикам, почему ты сейчас только болельщик? Я был растерян легко, огромный труду, почему болеть, вам задать I'm from a small village in Russia called Berozovo, in Siberia. I had a very hard upbringing. The reason that I'm here today is because of motivation, very, very hard work. The reason, for the fans, I think that's a good question for the fans. I don't know why. Doing a lot of respect and it's a good question for the fans for why they like it.
Can you ask him why he fights the way he fights, and when he says things like the belts aren't important important. The money isn't important. It's the way I fight and what people think of the way I fight. Does he think that is an aspect of his fighting style and his personality that appeals to his fans?
Ну, ты дерешься, пока ты говоришь, что титулы и деньги для тебя не важны. А важно, как их дерусь. Ты думаешь, что это часть твоей личности, то, как ты дерешься. Это характер, личность, я... Мой характер. Можно повторять. Драться за деньги и за титул, то есть это ничего не стоит. Абсолютно, то есть любят не деньги и не титул, а любят человека. И меня любят, то любят. За то, какой я. Everything I said is because the way I fight comes from inside of my character, and I'm probably never going to fight differently the way I am. And people love me. People love me not because of the titles I have, the money I make. People love me because of who I am, and I am who I am in the ring, and I show everything in the ring. You know who I am.
Okay, thank you. My next question is for Chris. Chris, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Chris, we talked about two of the guys in your resume who you feel are most similar to Ruslan. Can you talk about which fights in particular where you feel like he's had problems? You talked about his jab, the jab that seems to bother him. Can you talk about the fights you feel like he's had those problems in?
The Tim Bradley fight, even Alvarado when he boxed a little bit. I'm not big on watching tape or watching my opponents. I've seen Ruslan's fight because I watched it live. Like I said, that I was a fan while Ruslan has been fighting, and but my coaches have more done the studying, and I've watched other fights and told me what the strategy is.
Gain anything from watching him against Herrera?
I hadn't seen that whole fight, to tell the truth. My coaches did, and they said that they saw certain things and certain aspects that we want to capitalize on, and we've been working on those such things. But like I said, I don't really watch too much tape. I'm a fight fan. I don't study my opponents all that much in terms of their past performances, because boxing is all about rhythm, and you can't watch a guy's rhythm from watching a fight. Everyone's different on fight nights.
Okay, thanks a lot. I have two more questions just for Freddie Roach. Freddie, you there?
Yep.
Hey, Freddie, how you doing?
Good.
My first question is, Freddie, you talked about not wanting him to fight Manny Pacquiao. But if he keeps winning and, if Pacquiao, beats Marquez or whatever fight, don't you think the demand will increase for him to fight Pacquiao? And if it does, will you then relent and allow the fight to happen?
Well, I have both fighters, and I would hate to lose one of the fighters. But the thing is, if the demand does come again, we're going to have to let it happen. And it'd be a sad day for me. But the thing is, I'll probably sit both fighters out and just watch it on TV myself.
You wouldn't be in either corner. You said in the past, Manny's your number one guy.
Manny is my number one guy and so forth, and Ruslan's very close to me, and Ruslan's been a very hard worker, and but the demand is getting closer and closer, so to win here, it could happen, and Manny is running out of opponents right now, since some people, and that's the way it goes.
You would watch the fight from home?
I haven't been.
No, we'll give him a ticket. Freddie, you got a ticket. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
You got a ringside seat for the fight. It's his Arnie, Freddie. No problem.
My last question for you, Freddie. and you never flinch on this because of the confidence you have in your fighters. If everything goes according to plan and according to your expectations, how will this fight go, and will it end in a knockout in approximately what round?
Well, we have a tough, good boxer in front of us, and he has been knocked out before in kickboxing matches, so we will put pressure on him. We will do the best we can to get him out of there, and I think every fight should end in a knockout, and we don't go out there looking for one. We're going to go out there and win every round one at a time.
Thanks a lot, guys, and good luck in the week.
It won't be easy up to that point, that's for sure.
Our next question comes from Len Robbins with Barclays Center. Your line is live.
Yeah. Hey, Chris. This is Len Robbins at Barclays Center. Like you, I have a BA from the Harvard of Long Island, Stony Brook, and I'm curious. All right. How do you make a decision to go from possible pre-med into a sport that so many people would see as counter to healing towards health, etc.? The way I look at it is, the boxing is definitely, the hurt business, but at the end of the day, it is still a sport, and there are certain requirements, required of each fighter, medically to make sure that we're all fit to fight. And I feel that the way that I prepare for fights and the way that my style is that, I take as little damage as possible. Of course, there's tremendous risk involved, but my plan is to minimize that risk the best I can by being as prepared as possible and fighting the way that I do. But in terms of just my future plans and where I come from, it doesn't really deter me. Boxing is my passion. This is what I'm doing now. I'm a young man. I can still do it. I can still perform at this high level, and I'm honored and blessed to be able to do that. But there's life after boxing, and there's always time to go to school. There's always time for me to pursue what my future career goals are. And this is what I'm doing now because I can and I love it. Do you feel, based on your academic background and your diverse athletic background, that you have an intelligence edge when you're in the ring?
I would say so. I mean, I fight in a way that I use my intelligence when I fight in a way that definitely IQ can help. But it's about the boxing IQ when it comes to being inside the ring. Being good at calculus is not going to help me in a fight. But being able to analyze certain situations, especially in a mind-body sense, like you said, because of my athletic background, definitely has helped my progression in the sport. I've come in late to the sport, but I think I've learned at a fast rate because of my past experiences and because I am a student of the game.
So truth be told, when you're in schools like the schools that you're in and you're getting that kind of education, and then you tell the people around you that you're going to box professionally, how many stares did you get? How many woolly eyes did you get?
Countless. I was a lab technician for years of our Colston Harbor laboratory, and initially, no one really believed me that's really what I wanted to do, was to be a fighter, and that I was fighting. And then, more and more people were seeing what I was doing, and they were coming to fights, and they were watching me fight. And I think I turned a lot of those people around. I had a lot of people in the science community trying to talk me out of fighting, but I really don't get that much anymore. I think that people are a lot more on board because of where we've gone, and are excited to see how far I can take it.
Chris, thanks very much for your time.
Comes from Ali Shakur with 3morerounds.com. Your line is live.
Hello? Thank you. I just have one question for Chris. Chris, we've seen the 2 More Rounds documentary, and we saw what Ruslan did to Mike Alvarado, a true warrior, one of the best action fighters of this era. How are you prepared to deal with the mental aspect of the fight? You got a man across from you who's willing to take your soul, so to speak, and is going to try to break you down and make you quit. So despite the athletic nature of the fight, how do you plan on dealing with the mental aspect of the game? And how do you overcome any fear you may have?
Well, I think that one of my best aspects as a fighter is my mental strength and my mental advantage. I am fully committed, and I sacrificed quite a bit for this fight, this career of mine. And like I said, this is a passion, and my mental focus definitely has helped me throughout my entire career, and I think it's going to pay dividends in this fight.
Do you have any fear? Like a lot of fighters admit to having fear before they get into the ring. It could be a healthy thing. Do you have any fear fighting Ruslan Provodnikov?
I believe there's fear involved in any fight, but when it's fight night and the preparations are over, I feel nothing but confidence. I'm looking forward to June 14th. Everything is going the way that I had hoped and dreamed, and I'm actually really looking forward to this fight. And it's an opportunity for me to showcase my skills and to be in with one of the top guys in the game. So it's just a great opportunity all around. I don't concentrate too much on the fear. I'm just getting as prepared as possible.
Gotcha. I appreciate your time. Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Our next question is from Dan Raphael with ESPN. Your line is live.
Thank you very much. Hello, Chris. How are you?
Good. Thanks. How are you?
I'm good. My question for you, Chris, is you've fought so many fights of your professional career in Long Island in front of hometown crowds, and I think my understanding when this fight was made that one of the reasons, among others, that you got the fight was because it was going to be in New York, and most likely you would bring a crowd with you, which would perk up the attendance at the arena that you're having this fight at. My question for you is, how big of a deal is it? How much does it mean to you to be in your first world title fight and be doing it in front of your hometown people?
It's crazy, but this is what I had envisioned in my mind, for my first world title fight. I had envisioned it being in Madison Square Garden, of course, because there was no Barclays, 10 years ago when I was thinking about this. But it's amazing to be fighting in the Barclays. It's such an incredible arena. So it means a tremendous amount to me to be fighting for a world title, my first world title fight, in my home state. So it makes it that much bigger and that much more of a grand event.
The other thing I want to ask you about is style of the fight. We know, and that Ruslan has talked about in this call, he's about his pressure and coming forward and going to you the way he did against Bradley, the way he took care of Alvarado. You are more of a boxer. I mean, your knockouts are not the way his are. It just basically comes down to, if I'm wrong here, you got to outbox him to win this fight. He's not a guy that goes down very often. He's not a guy that's been stopped. Do you look at this as like you got to just go out there and box pretty much the perfect kind of fight and win that decision? Otherwise, it could be trouble for you.
The mantra of camp has been master boxer. We got to go out there and be a master boxer. This is a boxing match. It's not a ballroom brawl. So I got to go out there and use my skills. And as much as Ruslan is a come forward and pressure fighter, it takes a certain amount of skills, and I know him and his team have been working on I'm sure working on more boxing skills and trying to work their game plan. So it's not just a fight. This is a boxing match, and we're both going to go out there with our strategies. And a big part of mine is going to be trying to be a master boxer.
Do you feel like if he is able to pressure you and get right close to you and take it to you, that if you have to, you can stand and trade with this guy because he's going to try to impose himself on you compared to another guy that might also want to box with you?
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely. There's no shot that I'm going to be that I'm not going to have to fight. This is a boxing match. Ruslan's going to put the pressure, and he's going to be in front of me. But at the same time, even though I'm deemed the boxer and him the puncher, once we're inside, I can still punch. I'm still going to be in there, still being able to throw and use my skills on the inside.
All right, thank you for that. Vadim, could you ask Ruslan, conversely to what I just asked to Chris, Ruslan is the pressure fighter, is the guy that likes to go there and get his guy mixed up, not necessarily the technical boxer. Is it all about, for him, tracking this guy down and getting him out of there?
Твой стиль давления, а он боксер. Этот бой для тебя в том, чтобы его передавить и остановить. Из Карьера взялся боксера, который выше меня, и длинными руками, то есть у меня такой стиль, что меня всегда все стараются бежать, поэтому я это делаю всю свою карьеру, догоняю своих соперников. Мой план, да, то есть секретов нет. Крис, понятно, что выйдет и будет двигаться на ногах, стараться не держать на джебе, я уверен, что это его план. Но один вопрос, только у всех один вопрос, как долго он сможет это делать. Я же буду его ломать наружу, морально и физически. Это все, что я постоянно делаю.
All my career, I've had to fight guys that were taller than me and had longer hands, and all I've had to do is, try to get to them and try to pressure them. It's no secret what my plan is. Of course, I'm going to pressure. You know what he's going to do. I mean, they all try to box me and they all try to move and jab. But, I'm going to follow my plan, and all I do is I break the person down from inside to outside. I can break it down, from the distance, from up close, and from anywhere. And the question is always, how long can the jab for taking my punch?
All right, thank you, Vadim. Freddie, I wanted to ask you about that also. How well he be able to go after a guy like Chris, who is longer and is also a good boxer who has good movement. I mean, Ruslan has not faced a lot of guys like that in his career, it seems to me.
No, we definitely have to put pressure on, cut the ring off, and control the ring. And Chris is a very good boxer with long arms, and we have to break him down and get inside early, set traps, and we need to really control the ring, and that's what we've been working on quite a bit. Ruslan's getting very good at controlling the ring and keeping himself in the best spot. So I think that's the big key to the fight, is who's going to control the ring.
Got it. Thank you, Freddie. All right, guys. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Our next question comes from Jake Donovan with BoxingScene.com. Your line is live.
Okay, I just have one question for Audie and one question for Chris. Audie, I just want to know, how close was this fight actually, how close was it for this fight to have taken place at Nassau Coliseum?
I don't understand the question. Say it again.
I'm sorry, because I know when this fight was originally announced, Nassau Coliseum was very much on the table to host this fight. I just wanted to know how close it was to actually taking place there and what swayed it to go to Barclays instead.
Well, it was very close to happening there. We agreed to make a deal there, and then we didn't actually were able to sign the agreement. The gentleman was out sick, and then I get a call from Vadim, don't sign anything. We have the opportunity to move it to the Barclays Center, and that's exactly what happened.
Okay, I'm sorry, I do have a follow-up question for you. Is there a plan for you to build up Ruslan in the East Coast specifically? I mean, he's now fighting 30 minutes away from Little Odessa, so.
Well, that was one of the main reasons why we decided to move the fight. He is in Brooklyn. He is 30 minutes from Brighton Beach. There is a large community of Russian people there, and we believe the ticket sales are going very well, and we think that he's going to become a star in that area. And the manager, general manager, president of the arena, and the president of the Nets, Brett Yormark, loves it, loves the kid, loves the fight, and would like to have more than one Ruslan fight there because things are going so well. Doesn't hurt that, the owner of the Nets, Prokhorov, is a Russian too, and he's been very good at helping us get through Vadim and Albert, friends of Vadim's in Russia, to help us get this deal. The bottom line is that Ruslan Provodnikov is a ticket seller, and we think it's going to be a good show, and we're better than for him to defend his title for his first time, but in an area where we hit the market of his people, which is a great idea. And we got lucky. Timing is everything.
Okay, great. Thanks for that breakdown, Audie. I appreciate it. Chris, question for you. I know you said it was always your dream to fight in New York, well, specifically Madison Square Garden. Was there any disappointment knowing that the fight wasn't a little bit closer to home at Nassau Coliseum as opposed to your friends having to drive in or take a train instead?
No, the only disappointment was that being at Nassau would have been a very historic event because there hasn't been a fight there in, I believe, almost 20 years. But other than that, no, not at all. You know, the Barclays, like I said, is a beautiful arena. It's brand new. Everything is pristine there, and they're holding. You know, it's pretty much the premier venue in the New York area now. But in terms of my fans, I think most of the people that I talk to were a lot more excited for it to be at the Barclays than even Nassau. You know, it's very easy to get to from Long Island, so that's no issue.
All right, cool. Thanks a lot, Chris. Best of luck to you on June 14th. Ruslan, no questions for you. Just best of luck in June.
Thank you. Our next question comes from Daryl Cobb with badculture.net. Your line is live.
How you doing? This question is for Ruslan. How do you balance being the main attraction in the fight and where you're going to bring pressure, and also you said you wanted to be a little careful because your health is the most important thing to you. So how do you plan on balancing that?
Ты балансируешь, чтобы делать этот бой ярким, и давление и так далее, твой стиль, но в то же время беречь свое здоровье. Ну, во время боя я вообще не думал о том, какой ценой достанется бой. Это победа. То есть для меня важно просто выиграть и делать все, что от меня требуется. А яркость, это просто по моему характеру. Я ничего не делаю для того, чтобы я выхожу и дерусь, так как я умею драться. Well, when I'm in the ring, it's also part of my character not to worry about myself or anything. You know, my goal is to do what I do best, you know, and fight the way I fight. When I come into the ring, I don't try to fight in an exciting manner or try to be, you know, in a special style. I just fight the way that I like to fight, and you know, it comes from the inside, like I said earlier. So I can't consider anything if I want to win these fights.
That's it for me.
There are no further questions in queue, but if anyone would like to ask a question, please hit star 1 on star 1.
Actually, that's actually a perfect way to end. I guess we'll just go to closing quotes. I guess we'll start with Artie.
I'd just like to say thank you to everybody for joining us. Like I said, we think it's going to be a great event. As we just talked about, the main event is a very intriguing fight because Chris Algieri is now where Ruslan Provodnikov was about 2 years ago when he fought Bradley. So we'll see what Ruslan's made of, and because he's supposed to win a fight like this, but it's a very difficult fight. And I wish both of them good luck. The co-feature being Demetrius Andrade is going to be a heck of a fight with the #1 contender against Brian Rose. That will also be a fight will determine the direction of his career. As you all know, the press conference will be Thursday. The weigh-in is Friday. The doors open at 6. The first bout will be at 7. We will be airing the fight live internationally. The international show will start around 9 p.m. There's plenty of tickets available. The ring sides are going very fast, but there's a few tickets available in those price ranges as well. I want to thank everybody for coming. Chris, Joe, Ruslan, Freddie, and Vadim, and everybody on the call. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
Well, anybody else, Joe?
No, I just echo your comments, Artie. I appreciate everybody being on the call. I'm certainly looking forward to June 14th. And I think we're going to have a fantastic match, and certainly a wonderful boxer, puncher, bull, matador, all those kind of cliches that we'll be able to see on June 14th. I think it'll be a great night. And be sure to be there at the Barclays Center or tune in on HBO, June 14th.
Hey, maybe we should have Ruslan and now Chris say something, and then Freddie, and then we're done.
Всем огромное спасибо, рад был всех слышать. Удачного завершения подготовки. Увидимся 14 июня. Всех буду ждать. Everybody, it was a great conversation, and good luck to Chris. I hope you have a great training camp, and I'll see everybody June 14th.
Chris?
Yeah, I would just like to thank everybody for being involved in the call, and for everybody who came in and called and asked questions. I wish the best of luck to Ruslan and his team, and to Freddie and the rest of your camp. I hope it goes well. I will see you guys on June 14th.
Freddie? You have a final comment?
Just good luck to everyone, and we'll see you all in New York. Thanks.
And Vadim.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. I appreciate the great conversation, and good luck to everybody.
Well, thank you. All right, thanks for everyone for joining us today, and we'll see you fight week. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Ciao.